I watched my cousin Bella stand at the head of the dinner table, telling a story that made my stomach drop. She was describing how she started a small bakery business last summer, how she created the recipes from scratch, and how she fought through setbacks to make it work. My aunt and uncle smiled proudly. My grandmother wiped tears from her eyes. But every word Bella spoke was mine. Those were my recipes, my business plan, my struggles. I had told her everything 3 months ago when I asked for advice. Now she was standing there, soaking up praise for my achievements while I sat frozen in my chair. The worst part was how she looked at me across the table. Her eyes met mine for just a second, and she smiled. Not a warm smile. A knowing smile. The kind that said she knew exactly what she was doing and dared me to say something about it. After dinner, Bella found me in the kitchen washing dishes. She came up beside me and wrapped her arm around my shoulders like we were best friends. Her perfume smelled expensive, the kind she could only afford because her parents gave her everything. "Thanks for being so understanding, Mabel," she whispered in my ear. Her voice was sweet, but her grip on my shoulder was tight. "You always make things so easy for me." I stood there with soap suds dripping from my hands, not knowing what to say. She patted my back and walked away, leaving me alone with the dirty plates. My hands were shaking. I realized this was not the first time Bella had taken something from me. It was just the first time I noticed. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my mind racing through memories. How many times had Bella borrowed my ideas? How many stories had she twisted to make herself look better? I started thinking about our childhood. In every family photo, Bella was front and center, smiling wide for the camera. I was always slightly to the side, sometimes half out of frame. It was not an accident. Bella knew how to position herself. She knew how to be the one everyone looked at. My mother used to compare us all the time. "Why can't you be more confident like Bella?" she would say. "Bella always knows what to say. Why are you so quiet?" I grew up believing I was less than my cousin. Less pretty, less interesting, less important. Bella never corrected anyone. She just absorbed the praise like it was her right. I remembered birthday parties where I brought homemade gifts and Bella brought store-bought presents that cost more. Everyone praised Bella's generosity. My gifts were called sweet but simple. I remembered school projects where I did most of the work and Bella presented it. Teachers praised her confidence. 2 weeks after that dinner, my old friend from high school messaged me. Her name was Claire, and we had not talked in over a year. "Hey Mabel, I saw Bella's Instagram. She's really doing well with that bakery business. But I thought you were the one who started baking." My heart stopped. I opened Bella's Instagram account and scrolled through her posts. There were photos of cupcakes I had made, photos taken in my kitchen, but Bella had cropped me out. The captions talked about her journey as a young entrepreneur. She had over 3,000 followers. People were commenting, asking where they could buy her products. One post showed my signature lemon lavender cake, the one I had spent weeks perfecting. Bella claimed she invented it. Another post shared my business tips, written in her voice. She was not just taking credit for my work. She was building an entire identity from my shadow. Everything I had worked for, she was claiming as hers. The breaking point came during Sunday brunch at my grandmother's house. The whole family was there, like always. Bella arrived late, making a grand entrance in a new dress. Everyone complimented her immediately. My aunt hugged her and said, "We're so proud of how you've handled your life, Bella. You're such an inspiration." Bella smiled modestly. "I just work hard and stay focused," she said, glancing at me. "Some people give up too easily." I felt sick. I pushed my food around my plate, unable to eat. My mother noticed and asked if I was okay. Before I could answer, Bella jumped in. "Mabel's been a bit stressed lately. Haven't you, Mabel?" Everyone looked at me with concerned faces. I forced a smile and said I was fine. But I was not fine. That night, I went to grab my personal journal from my desk drawer. It was gone. I searched my entire room, my heart pounding. That journal contained everything, my thoughts, my business plans, my private feelings. It was missing. 3 days later, Bella posted a long essay on her blog. I recognized it immediately. It was my journal entry, word for word, about overcoming jealousy from family members who did not support my dreams. Bella had changed a few details to make it about her, but the core was mine. My private thoughts were now public, and she was getting praised for them. The post went viral in our local community. A small business magazine featured it. They called Bella brave and authentic. My aunt shared it on Facebook, writing how proud she was to have such a wise daughter. The comments flooded in, hundreds of people telling Bella how inspiring she was. My grandmother called Bella to tell her the essay made her cry. Nobody knew the truth. Nobody knew Bella had stolen my journal and my words. I sat at my desk, staring at the screen, reading my own thoughts in her voice. Something inside me shifted. I was done being silent. I was done letting her win. This time, I was going to do something about it. I started documenting everything. I took screenshots of Bella's Instagram posts, saved her blog entries, recorded the dates and times of everything she claimed. I created a private folder on my computer labeled Recipes, so Bella would not suspect anything if she snooped again. Inside that folder, I kept detailed records. I wrote down every conversation we had, every time she asked me for advice, every idea I shared with her. I was not planning revenge yet. I just needed to see the pattern clearly. I needed proof that I was not imagining things. The evidence piled up quickly. Bella had been doing this for years. She took my art project idea in 10th grade and won an award. She copied my college essay structure and got into her first choice school. She even took credit for organizing my grandmother's surprise birthday party last year. I had done all the work, but Bella showed up with flowers and everyone thanked her. Bella started doing something new. She began telling family members that I was acting strange. I overheard her talking to my aunt on the phone one evening. "I'm worried about Mabel," Bella said, her voice full of fake concern. "She's been really distant lately. I think she might be jealous of my success." My aunt made sympathetic noises. "That must be hard for you, dealing with that." "It is," Bella continued. "I've tried to include her, but she just pushes me away. I think she resents me." I stood outside the door, listening to her poison my own family against me. The next family gathering felt different. People's smiles were tighter when they looked at me. My uncle asked if I was okay, but his tone suggested he already believed I was not. My mother pulled me aside and said, "You need to be happy for Bella. Jealousy is not attractive." I had not said anything negative about Bella to anyone, but she had planted seeds of doubt, and they were growing. I could not take it anymore. I waited until Bella and I were alone in my grandmother's kitchen after dinner. Everyone else was in the living room watching television. "Why do you need to be me?" I asked quietly. Bella was drying a plate. She stopped and looked at me, her expression innocent. "What are you talking about?" "You know exactly what I'm talking about. My bakery business, my journal, my ideas. Why do you keep taking everything from me?" Bella set the plate down slowly. Then she laughed. It was not a nervous laugh. It was cold, confident. "Because you never appreciated what you had, Mabel. You're talented, but you hide it. I just took what you were wasting." We stood there, staring at each other across the small kitchen. Years of fake smiles and stolen moments hung between us. "I'm done letting you do this," I said. Bella's smile widened. "What are you going to do?" Tell everyone. They won't believe you. They never have. She was right, and we both knew it. 2 weeks later, my aunt announced she wanted to throw a surprise anniversary party for my grandparents. 30 years of marriage. The family met to plan it. I volunteered to help organize everything. Bella's eyes lit up. Actually, I'd love to take the lead on this, she said. I have so many ideas. My aunt immediately agreed. That would be wonderful, Bella. You're so good at these things. I smiled and said I was happy to help however I could. Bella took over completely. She created a group chat, assigned tasks, picked the venue. I stayed quiet, responding to messages, showing up when asked. But behind the scenes, I was making small adjustments. I talked to the caterer privately, making sure my grandparents' favorite foods were included. I contacted old family friends Bella had forgotten. I arranged for a photo slideshow with pictures from their whole marriage. None of it was flashy. None of it would make me stand out. But it would make the party perfect. And it would show who really cared about the details. I needed to test something. I wrote a short story about a young woman who discovered her sister was stealing from her. It was not subtle. The details were obvious to anyone who knew our situation. But I added one important lie. In the story, the main character had a secret trust fund from her deceased father. It was dramatic, emotional, completely made up. I printed the story and left it on my desk at home, where Bella would find it during her next visit. I titled it The Truth About Us and made it look like a personal essay. Then I waited. Bella came over 3 days later to borrow a dress for a party. I left her alone in my room for 10 minutes while I made tea. When I came back, she was looking at her phone, but the papers on my desk had been moved. The story was slightly out of place. I knew she had read it. Now I just had to wait for her to take the bait. I did not have to wait long. 5 days later, I got a notification. The local writing contest I had been following announced their finalists. Bella's name was on the list. The title of her entry was The Truth About Family. My heart raced. I clicked the link and started reading. It was my story, almost word for word. Bella had changed the names and adjusted a few sentences, but it was mine, including the fake details about the trust fund. I checked the submission timestamp. She had entered it the same night she visited my room. I had watched her steal it through my laptop camera. I had set up a simple recording app before she arrived, just in case. The video showed her photographing my pages with her phone. I saved everything to 3 different cloud accounts. I had proof now. Clear, undeniable proof. But I did not do anything with it yet. I wanted to see how far Bella would go. I wanted everyone to see who she really was. Bella's confidence grew every day. She talked about the writing contest constantly. She told our grandmother she might win. She posted on Instagram about finally sharing her truth through writing. Family members commented with heart emojis and encouraging words. I stayed quiet and supportive. I liked her posts. I commented on positive things. I asked her questions about her writing process. Bella loved the attention. She started bragging about having a gift for storytelling. It just flows out of me, she told my mother during lunch. I don't even have to think about it. I recorded that conversation on my phone. I recorded everything now. Every lie, every stolen moment, every piece of false praise. Bella had no idea I was building a case against her. She thought she had won. She thought I was too weak to fight back. That was her mistake. I started pulling away from family events. I needed space to think, to plan, to heal from years of being overshadowed. I started seeing a counselor. I wrote in a new journal, one I kept hidden. I painted again, something I had stopped doing because Bella always criticized my art. The distance felt good. I was rediscovering who I was without Bella's shadow hanging over me. My family noticed the change, but they misunderstood it. Mabel's being distant again, I heard my aunt say. Bella nodded sadly. I've tried to reach out, but she won't talk to me. They saw my healing as withdrawal. They saw my strength as weakness. But I did not care anymore. I was done performing for people who never really saw me. I looked at myself in the mirror one morning and made a promise. I did not need to destroy Bella. I just needed to let her destroy herself. But I would make sure everyone was watching when she did. The writing contest announcements continued. Bella made the top 10, then the top 5. The winner would be announced at a special ceremony in 6 weeks. They would read their story aloud at a community event. Family members were invited. My grandmother was so excited she bought a new outfit just for the occasion. Bella practiced her reading every day. I could hear her through the walls when I visited my aunt's house. She had memorized every word of my stolen story. The ceremony would be held at the local library, a beautiful old building with huge windows and wooden shelves. The organizers asked if anyone wanted to help film the event for their website. I volunteered immediately. Bella thought it was sweet that I wanted to support her. "Thanks for being there for me, Mabel," she said, hugging me tight. "I know things have been weird between us, but I'm glad you're coming." I smiled and told her I would not miss it for anything. That part was true. I definitely would not miss what was about to happen. The day of the ceremony arrived. The library was packed with people. Writers, family members, local journalists. I set up my camera in the back corner, tested the angles, made sure everything was recording properly. Bella sat in the front row wearing a blue dress and pearl earrings. She looked confident, radiant. My grandmother sat beside her, holding her hand. The judges gave speeches about the importance of authentic storytelling. They praised all the finalists. Then they announced the winner. It was Bella. The room erupted in applause. Bella stood up, wiping fake tears from her eyes. She walked to the microphone and began reading. Her voice was steady at first. She read about 2 sisters, about betrayal, about discovering the truth. But then her voice started shaking. She had reached the part about the trust fund. Her eyes widened slightly. She stumbled over the words. I watched through the camera lens, my expression calm. Bella realized something was wrong. The story did not sound right anymore. The details felt off. But she kept reading because everyone was watching. After Bella finished reading, the head judge stood up to congratulate her. "We were so moved by this story," she said. "In fact, we were fascinated to receive 2 very similar submissions this year." Bella's smile froze. Both entries told nearly the same story, with the same characters and plot points. "We want to thank both authors for their submissions." The judge gestured to someone at the back of the room. They pulled up the contest website on a large screen. There was my name, listed as a finalist. My story, the original version, was posted in full with my submission date clearly visible. My entry was submitted 2 weeks before Bella's. The room went silent. People started whispering. My grandmother looked confused. Bella's face went white. The judge continued speaking, but I could barely hear her over the rushing in my ears. Everyone could see both stories side by side now. Every stolen sentence, every copied detail, every lie Bella had told was visible on that screen. The ceremony ended quickly after that. People did not know what to say. The judges announced they needed to review the situation before declaring an official winner. Bella grabbed her purse and rushed out of the library. I packed up my camera slowly, carefully. Family members surrounded me, asking questions. I told them the truth calmly. I showed them my original documents, my submission confirmation, my timestamps. My grandmother's face changed as she understood what had happened. That night, Bella burst into my bedroom at home. My parents were downstairs. She did not care who heard her. "You set me up," she screamed. "You planned this whole thing." I sat on my bed, my hands folded in my lap. "I didn't set you up, Bella. I just gave you the chance to do what you always do. You walked right into the truth." Her face was red, twisted with anger. "You're a liar. That story is mine." "Then why is my version submitted first? Why do I have all the drafts saved with dates? Why did I record you stealing it from my room?" Bella went very still. "You recorded me? I documented everything." She stared at me, realizing for the first time that I had been 3 steps ahead the whole time. The next few days were chaotic. My parents called Bella's parents. There was a long, painful conversation in our living room. I showed them everything. The recordings, the screenshots, the timeline of theft going back years. Bella tried to deny it at first. Then she tried to explain it away. "Mabel never would have done anything with those ideas anyway," she argued. "I was just making better use of them." My aunt looked horrified. My uncle sat in silence. They had always defended Bella, always believed she was perfect. Now they were seeing the truth. Old memories resurfaced. My mother remembered the school art project. My grandmother remembered who actually planned her birthday party. My uncle recalled conversations where Bella had taken credit for things she could not have done alone. The pattern became obvious once people started looking. Bella's perfect image cracked and crumbled. She left our house that night without saying goodbye. My aunt apologized to me with tears in her eyes. "I should have seen it," she whispered. "I'm so sorry." The magazine that had featured Bella's stolen journal essay contacted her 3 days later. Someone had sent them proof that the essay was plagiarized. They issued a public retraction on their website. "We apologize for featuring content that was not original work. We hold our contributors to the highest standards of integrity." Bella's blog post was taken down. Her Instagram comments were filled with questions and accusations. People who had praised her now felt betrayed. Friends stopped calling. The online community she had built collapsed overnight. She deleted most of her social media accounts within a week. The writing contest officially disqualified Bella and awarded the prize to the runner-up. I did not win anything, but I did not care. I had never wanted the prize. I just wanted the truth to come out. Bella stopped coming to family gatherings. My aunt said she was struggling emotionally, humiliated and angry. I felt nothing when I heard that. No satisfaction, no guilt. Just emptiness. Months passed. Spring turned to summer. I focused on my actual bakery business, the one I had been building quietly while Bella stole credit for it. I rented a small commercial kitchen space and started selling at the local farmers market. People loved my lemon lavender cake. They loved my rosemary shortbread cookies. I built a real customer base, not followers who liked a fake story. My business grew slowly but steadily. I hired my friend Claire to help on busy weekends. We worked well together, laughing while we packaged orders. This was what I had wanted all along. To build something real, something mine. Bella tried to reach out once. She sent me a text message apologizing. It was not a real apology. She was sorry she got caught, not sorry for what she did. I did not respond. Some people did not deserve second chances. My grandmother asked if I would forgive Bella eventually. I told her I already had, for my own peace. But forgiveness did not mean letting her back into my life. Forgiveness meant I was done carrying the weight of her choices. I received an unexpected email in late August. A local community center was hosting a small business workshop for young entrepreneurs. They wanted me to be one of the speakers. They had heard about my bakery through word of mouth. The workshop was scheduled for October, just 6 weeks away. I said yes immediately. The preparation felt different this time. I was not working in someone else's shadow. I was standing in my own light. I wrote my speech carefully, talking about the challenges of starting a business, the importance of authentic work, the value of persistence. I practiced in front of my mirror, my voice growing stronger each time. The workshop was being held in my hometown, at the same community center where I used to take art classes as a kid. My family was invited to attend. My mother said she would be there. My grandmother bought a ticket immediately. I did not know if Bella would come. I did not ask. This event was not about her. It was about me finally stepping forward, finally taking up space. The workshop day arrived. October sunshine filled the community center's main room. About 60 people attended, sitting in rows of folding chairs. I saw my mother in the third row. My grandmother sat beside her, smiling wide. Claire came too, bringing flowers. I stood at the microphone, my notes in hand, my heart racing. I talked about my journey, about learning to value my own work, about the importance of protecting your ideas while staying open to growth. Then I said something I had been thinking about for months. Sometimes the people who hurt us the most are the ones who need our light. They just did not know how to shine without stealing it. I saw movement in the back row. Someone sitting alone in the corner. It was Bella. She was wearing a plain gray sweater, her hair pulled back. She looked smaller somehow, less sure of herself. Our eyes met across the room. She was crying silently. I kept speaking, my voice steady. I was not talking to her. I was talking to everyone who had ever felt invisible, everyone who had ever been stolen from, everyone who needed to hear that their voice mattered. After the speech, people came up to congratulate me. They asked about my business, requested my contact information, and shared their own stories. My mother hugged me tight. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. My grandmother kissed my cheek. "This is who you really are," she said. "I'm sorry it took me so long to see it." I thanked them, feeling lighter than I had in years. I looked toward the back row, but Bella was gone. She had left during the crowd's applause. Part of me felt sad about that, not because I wanted to talk to her, but because I understood her in a way I had not before. Bella had spent her whole life stealing from others because she did not believe she had anything valuable of her own. That was a tragedy, but it was not my tragedy to carry anymore. Claire and I packed up my materials. We went to dinner at a small restaurant downtown, celebrating with pasta and sparkling water. I felt free, truly free, for the first time in my adult life. I walked home that evening as the sun set behind the buildings. The air smelled like autumn, crisp and full of possibility. When I got to my apartment, I sat down at my computer. I opened the folder where I had kept all my documentation about Bella. Screenshots, recordings, proof of everything she had done. I looked at it for a long moment. Then I selected everything and pressed delete. The files disappeared. I emptied the trash folder. It was gone, all of it. I did not need it anymore. The truth had come out. Justice had been served. Holding on to the evidence felt like holding on to anger, and I was done being angry. I opened my journal, the new one Bella had never seen, and wrote a single sentence. I used to think forgiveness was for them, but it was for me, because peace is the best revenge. I closed the journal and looked out my window. The city lights were coming on, one by one. Tomorrow I had orders to fill, a business to run, a life to live. My own life, built on my own work, shining with my own light. That was enough. That was everything.